Okay, this is a roller coaster Tycoon CPU and driver board that came in, and I've had it in burn-in for 9 minutes, as you can see there. It looks like I've got the last thing on this board fixed, but let's run through all the diagnostics. The last thing that I found on the board was some alkaline corrosion in one of the two of the chip sockets, the 6809 here and the sound ROM. And I don't know if I can get this to focus on this, but you can see that one pin, the fifth one down, is totally corroded out of there. It was making intermittent contact, and so it was working sometimes, but sometimes it would just go off into the weeds. So we've got that taken care of now. So let's put it into switch test, which is where we're at right now. And I'll use my pin attack. Boy, this guy should send me a free one for as much free press as I've been giving him. Nah, kidding. He's been good. I use all his NV RAMs. So you can see I just went through row 1 and column 1. That's all working. GI is working just fine. Next test. If I can navigate. Coil test. And I'm going to cause it to cycle. It'll start flashing right here and then walk its way to the left, then this one, then this one, then finally this one. Here we go. That's the 8th one. 13, 14, 15, 16, and you can see that the duration of some of these flashes is longer or shorter, and that is because the game software knows what kind of coil is there, and it powers different coils for different durations. This is a flash lamp bar down here. You can see I've got these test things on different positions, so the dots are in different places. But you can see that all those coils work just fine. So let's go back and check the lamps. I'm going to make it do all the lamps. You can see that on my homemade tester that all the lamps are operating properly. Flashers. This is merely exercising the same coil circuits, but more rapidly. These coil circuits are dedicated to flashers, so that's working properly. And brace yourself. Yeah. Speaker test. And this tests all the sound ROMs.
Oh, what a mess! Attaboy! Congratulations! Oh, what a mess! Attaboy! Congratulations!
So that's where it would previously go off into the weeds. I have had it burned in. I did do the dot test. It's pretty boring. I know that it works, so I'm going to skip that. RCT has an LED test, but I don't have the LED here, so I'm not going to do that. And let's quit out of this. Now it's going to be looking for some balls here when it starts up. Again, this board came in, it already had an NV RAM from Beauregard on his any pin NV RAMs, locked and lit. But this whole area right here, all the way from here, all the way around here is corroded. So the procedure is to remove the components, sand it down to bare copper, rebuild traces as necessary, conformal coat it with special acrylic, I believe, that I use here from, no, it's silicone from MG Chemicals. Stuff's pricey, like 18 bucks a can. And then reinstall the components. Now I washed this board down to make sure there wasn't any alkaline residue on there, and of course, as I mentioned before, had to replace these sockets also to make it work correctly. I always replace this power header, and on this board I replaced the switch matrix headers also. It was just in need of them. The driver board was in perfect condition. I'll change this power header out before I'm done, but this thing is working properly. Thank you so much for sending it, and I'll get this back to you as soon as I can. So right after I finished testing this roller coaster Tycoon MPU, and I was examining this driver board, you can see that connector shot, the big long power connector shot. Somebody was sanding on this GI connector, so those I gotta go too. I'll take care of those.